I'm really happy to see you here. And let's see whom we've got here. Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Happy to have you. Can you just type in the chat if you can hear me clearly? Okay, great. All right, let's wait and see who's here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm really happy to have you here. And today, we're here to have a conversation. First of all, I'm Caroline, an English business coach. Worked with lots of students just like you, and I've really been able to help them overcome their fears and achieve their goals, their dreams. So I'm really happy to see you here today. So today we are going to have a conversation with you, and in the next 30 minutes, I will cover three things that are really important to many of you. And the first one is going to be why so many professionals still struggle when it is time for interview. Like they struggle when they go to an interview room. That is the first thing we'll cover. The second one is going to be how we can improve this problem. Okay, we know the problem, why they struggle, what can we do? So that's going to be the second thing we're covering today. And finally, the third one is a secret. It's a surprise. So I'll share it with you towards the end. So please stay until then to get the surprise. Okay, so I think as we wait for people, others to join, let's get started. So let's start by understanding why many professionals usually fail interviews, even if they have like confidence at work, they can talk to other people confidently, they have the experience, they've got the skills. They just tend to, get nervous during an interview. Why does that happen? Let's look at the first main problem. Knowing English is one thing, but knowing English or performing an interview in English is a completely different thing. So those two are totally different. So just knowing English is not enough for you to pass an interview in English. Let's look at the second problem. The second problem that I see with many of my students is they really tend to translate things from their first language to English. Now, when you're in an interview, this is going to be a little bit of a problem because when you're in an interview, you don't have enough time to translate. By the time you get back or by the time you finish your translation, you will have lost track of the question. Now, a quick question for you. Have you ever had an interview where you felt that you really need the job, but unfortunately you couldn't get the job because of how you answered? Probably you were nervous or you didn't really understand the question. Let's look at problem number 3. The third problem I want to talk about is practicing general English is not the same as practicing English for interviews. So many students tend to practice general English without practicing English for interviews. Or the other thing they do is they tend to practice by themselves. So they sit in front of a mirror and just talk to themselves. This is completely different from when you sit in front of people, like I'm doing right now with you. It is totally different. So, what do you have to do? We're going to find out what you need to do to overcome this problem. Let's look at the fourth problem. I think you can all agree with me that confidence tends to disappear when you walk into that interview room. Have you ever asked yourself why that happens? let's find out why that happens, because many people are really confident, but when they get into the interview room, they become nervous and so on, and they just can't answer, they freeze. Let's look at the final problem. The final problem is not knowing and understanding the questions themselves. So, for that reason, we are here to solve the problem. How can we solve these problems? We know the problems, but what can we do to solve these problems? Let me walk you through a few things you can do to get ready for your next interview. The first thing you have to do is to practice one specific thing at a time. You don't have to practice 20 interview questions in one go, and you're handling grammar, you're handling vocabulary because you're an English learner, and all the 20 questions in one go. No, focus on one question at a time. When you master it, then you can move on to the next question. Let's look at the second solution. And this is the most important thing you have to do, to practice in real situations. Put yourself in an interview situation and try to answer these questions. This is going to help you a lot. You have to feel the pressure. You have to know how to manage time. This is something you can't do if you're just sitting in front of a mirror and you're talking to yourself. Nobody's there to time you or to give you that feel, the pressure. And the next solution is having a structured feedback. This is very, very important. So when you're trying to do something, it is important to have somebody who watches you, listens to you, and gives you feedback so that you know what to improve and what to put much more time on. Okay. And feel free. Okay. All right. Okay. I can see many of you. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see the next solution to the problems we've covered. You have to build confidence through repetition. Repetition is everything. You can't practice once and you feel you're ready. You need to do it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The more you do it, the better you get at it. This is something you must do. Okay. All right. So the other thing you need to do is, like I mentioned, there are 4 things. You need to not just practice many questions in one go. You have to go one question at a time. The other thing you have to do is repeat, 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 repeat. Put yourself in a situation that feels like a real interview. Feel that pressure and know how to deal with that pressure. And the last thing is to get feedback from somebody. You really need feedback. We all need feedback for improvements. All right. So, because of all these problems that we've covered and the possible solutions, we've come up with a plan for you. We call it Pass Your Next Interview, Pass Your Next English Interview. So, if you're preparing to have an interview in English coming up soon, or you have plans of working in an international company, this program is for you. Let me walk you through what it covers. First, I want you to know that before even the program kicks off, you will have an assessment. So you'll take an assessment, we'll assess you, and here we'll try to understand how well can you communicate? How confident are you? Can you use the right phrases in an interview? And after knowing your needs, the level where are you at right now, then we can know where to put you, how to group you. So now that you know what we are going to do, now let me walk you through the real things we will cover in this program. First, you have to remember that the program is a live, a live training. It's not just some recorded things. No, it's going to be live with real people, a real coach, real students. So you'll be able to put yourself in that situation under pressure and try to talk in front of other people. So, what are we going to be covering? So, the first session will be the most common interview question: tell us about yourself. This is a question that is usually asked in almost every interview. By the end of this session, you'll be able to talk about yourself professionally and naturally without feeling nervous, without, running out of words. And it's something you shouldn't miss. And session two will cover your experience and achievements. By the end of session two, you will have understood how to answer the questions related to your achievements and a little bit of history or experience. You will be able to answer these questions in a way that it connects to the job. In session three, we will handle the question that many people fear: why do you want this job? Many people get this question wrong. They tend to talk about themselves. So by the end of this session, you will have mastered how to answer this question properly in a way that it pleases the interviewers as well. In session four, we will cover the most difficult question for many people to answer: talking about your weakness. It is so difficult for people to talk about their weaknesses, but we all have weaknesses. So by the end of this lesson, you will have understood how to answer this question in a way that it doesn't make you look like somebody is not fit for the job or somebody who is just bossy or arrogant. You will know exactly what to say. And in session five, we will cover behavioral questions. These can be different questions, but one of them could be something like: tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult client. By the end of this session, you will have mastered a structure that you can use and apply in any industry to answer this question related to behavior. And please feel free to share your comments in the chat. Okay. All right. In session six, we're going to cover something most people forget when they walk into that interview room. That is asking the interviewers questions. You can never say you don't have questions. So by the end of this session, you will have mastered how to ask questions to the interviewers and right questions, not just any questions. Thank you so much, Johnson Hendricks. Okay. All right. In session seven, we will have a mock interview. A mock interview is basically putting yourself in an interview situation and trying to answer all the interview questions to prepare you for your next interview. But I also want to highlight something. In every session, we will have the real practice. You will answer interview questions in front of other people. But this will be just practice, not like all the questions. It will be focusing on just one question in every session. But in session seven, we will focus on all questions. Okay, now let's talk about session eight. Session eight will be the final preparation. We will build for you a 24-hour plan that you will use a day before your interview. The questions you'll have to try to discuss and cover, and how to prepare, how to behave, when to arrive. Everything that entails interview. We'll build this package for you and give it to you, and you'll be ready to go for that interview. Now, something very important to remember or to take note of is that after every session, you will have some assignment. It's not to test you, but to help you keep getting ready in between sessions, because we will be having one session a week, one specific topic, but we will cover the same topic twice. So if you cannot attend the first session, you'll be able to attend the second one. It will be the same question. So this is going to prepare you in between these sessions. You'll be able to write exactly the kinds of questions that you think they'll ask you. We'll give you the questions, and you'll try to answer these questions the way we've practiced, and you'll try to be ready for the questions. Also, you'll send it to us to give you feedback on how to do it. And when you get to class, you'll present it in front of other people, which puts you in that interview situation and prepares you better for the real interview. I know now you're probably wondering, who is this program for? This program is for you, a non-native English speaker preparing to have an interview in English. This program is for you. If you feel you're that person, you're in the right place. We want to help you build confidence in speaking English, confidence in answering interview questions, and also knowing exactly what to say, because there's a difference between being confident and knowing what to say, the right answers. Great. So I want you to remember that the slots are limited. We're just taking 10 people because we want you not to have many people in a class. We want to have a good number that can help you build confidence, but also a good number that can help you stay focused and we can, follow you. All right. Okay, great. So please feel free to share with us. Thank you so much, Johnson. Please feel free to share with us any questions that you may have regarding this program. Send them in the chat. All right. And as I'm waiting for your questions, we have a link in the chat, in the comment section. You can use this link to understand more about the program. Okay. All right. Bring the questions, keep them coming. So while I wait for your questions, maybe you don't have a specific question for me, but could you please write in the chat the last time you had an interview in English? How did you feel? How was that feeling? Yeah, just share with us how you felt during that interview that you last had in English. What was the most difficult thing? Just share it in the chat so that we can share some tips with you. Okay. And if you have any other questions related to the program or outside the program related to English learning, please bring them in the chat. Okay. Okay, so the cohort starts on July 6th. That's like 1 week away from today. So just remember to click on the link in the chat if you'd like to get more information about this program. All right. Any questions? Okay, hello, hello, hello. All right. Okay. Just a quick recap. We will have 8 sessions in total over a period of 2 weeks. Every session will have between 4 and 6 students. And you will be able, at the end of this program, you'll be able to answer every interview question with confidence because you're going to practice with real people and a real person. Okay. All right. So keep the questions coming. This program is starting on July 7th. Oh, sorry, July 6th. That was a slip of a tongue. And the seats are only 10. So I'll be really happy to have you in one of the sessions or in all the sessions and help you prepare for your next interview. Okay. Okay. All right. Hello. 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 Any questions? Anybody there? Hello. Hello. Please leave some comments in the chat. Okay. Okay. All right. One more time. Let me just walk you through everything we've covered. Just a recap. I want you to remember the most common problems that many professionals face when they go for interviews in English. Number one is that they translate the language they translate from their language to English. And this is not great because you lose a lot of time. And the second issue is that sometimes you may know English, but knowing general English is completely different from knowing English for interviews. So those are two different things. So that is problem number two. And problem number three is that people don't get an opportunity to get feedback. We all need feedback. So if there is something you're presenting or you're trying to answer an interview question, it's really important for somebody to be there to give you feedback on how you performed, your confidence levels, and so on. All right. Hi, Camila. Great. The next problem is interviews can generally be intimidating because you're doing this under pressure. So for that reason, you need to practice with real people. Put yourself in that situation so that you can overcome that fear, that pressure. Okay. And like we talked about the solutions, just remember that you have to practice one question at a time. Don't do so many things in one go. You'll just mess up everything. Start small, keep getting better and better and better. But you must have a goal. At the end of this week, I should have improved 1 to 3 skill. Okay. The next thing is to practice in real interview scenarios. You have to put yourself in that situation and be able to get feedback. So practice with real people at the same time and get feedback from them so that you can improve, because without feedback, you can't really know what is good and what's not good, where to, put more effort. Okay. And okay. All right. So, also regarding feedback, it should be very structured. It must be structured, not just any feedback. You must be knowing the person giving you feedback should know what they're listening for, what can help you tomorrow when you go for an interview. So, it has to be structured. And the fourth thing is building confidence through repetition. You have to repeat over and over and over. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So, for that reason, we've come up with this program, which we call Pass Your Next English Interview. It's an 8 session program. So it's 8 sessions throughout a period of 2 weeks. Every week we'll have one session, but it will be run 2 times. So if you can't attend the first one, you can still attend the second one. If you want to attend both, still you can, no problem. So by the end of the 2 months, you will have mastered interview questions and how to answer them. Okay. And just to walk you through this a little bit, like I mentioned, before you get started, we will assess you. We would like to know, where are you at? What are your weaknesses? What kind of questions can you answer well? What kind of skills? What areas do we really need to, improve? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yes, so after knowing where you are at and the areas you need to improve, then we'll get started. The first session will cover the most classic interview question: tell us about yourself. This sounds so simple, so easy, but how do you actually answer it in an interview? Session two, we will cover tell us, sorry, why do you want this job? Why did you apply for this job? People usually tend to focus on themselves. You need to know how to connect, your skills and experience to the job. In the next session, okay, just a sec. All right. We will focus on your achievements and experience. How can you talk about your experience and achievements? How can you link this to the job you're applying for? And in session four, we'll answer the most difficult question. Tell us about your greatest weakness. We all have weaknesses, right? But it's so difficult to talk about your weaknesses because you ask yourself so many questions. You don't want to feel like you're incompetent or you're difficult to deal with. So you need really to understand how to answer this question. We'll cover it in session four. And in session five, we will cover behavioral questions. This could be any question related to how you behave in certain situations. It can be, tell us of a time you had to deal with a difficult colleague. How would you answer that? Would you sound positive? Would you sound negative? Would you say, I've never had this situation? By the end of this session, you will have mastered how exactly you can answer this question. And in session six, we'll cover what most people usually forget: asking questions. If they ask you, do you have any questions for us? You cannot say, I don't have any questions. So, how do you answer? What kind of questions can you ask? This will be covered in session six. I'm sorry about that. Right. So we will build for you also a small bank of questions that you can have with you. But these questions must be relevant to the job you're applying for. So we will walk you through all this. And remember, in session five, full mock interview. You'll be in that situation in an interview room and you'll answer all the interview questions in that sitting. And this is going to prepare you to be in that particular situation, feel the pressure, know how to think fast, know how to read the room and answer the questions correctly and appropriately. And in the final session, we will have, I will call it a final preparation. We'll build for you a 24-hour plan. And this plan is going to help you understand how to manage your nerves, how to warm up your speaking. I mean, this is what you're going to look at the day before the interview. How to show that you're confident, and so on. So, if you have any questions, please bring them in the chat. I would love to answer them before we end this live. And I'm really grateful that you've been here with us. It's really nice to have you here. Just feel free to share any questions that you have in the comment section. I'll be really happy to answer the questions. Or if you don't have any questions related to this topic, just share with us the last time you had an interview. What was the most difficult thing for you to do? Okay, I think I can say thank you so much for being with us here today. And it's been really a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you one day preparing for that interview. Thank you so much and see ya.